Welcome to Faith Stories with Dawn DeMarco Buck. In the same way, let your light shine before others so that they will see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven. Matthew 5:16.
Hello and welcome to Faith Stories. I'm Dawn DeMarco Buck. What is Faith Stories? Faith Stories are Christians from all walks of life who share their stories of faith, hope, and love. And my prayer is that you would come to know your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Well, how do you do that? Through His Word, which is the Bible. So if you need a Bible, please reach out to me at faithstorieswithdawn@gmail.com. Okay, you guys, Stacy Herring, was a very good friend of mine. She passed away in September of 2024 and wrote this amazing book called Fields of Gomorrah. And it's about a 16-year-old girl who got into a huge fight with her mom, ran away from home, and unfortunately got caught up in the sex trafficking trade. And it's a page turner. There's 3 Christian women who are praying, and God was showing them different things to expose to the police. Check it out. Buy her book. You'll help her family, her husband, and three kids. She just had another one from heaven. No, I'm kidding. 2 kids, 2 girls, teenage girls. And you can get it on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. All right, you guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back with Lela Pacheco.
Broughton Garage Door Sales now offers you a difference with the LiftMaster Secure View Ultra Quiet Smart Opener with camera, LED 360-degree lighting, and battery backup. Built-in camera adds video and 2-way audio communication to the MyQ app. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage anytime, anywhere from your smartphone. Schedule today at broughton.com.
Just simply call Broughton. We open doors for you.
Tavilla Properties, located at 11471 West Sample Road, Suite 17, located in Coral Springs, Florida, for all your commercial needs. Call Jan at 954-341-1632. That's 954-341-1632, or visit www.tavillaproperties.com. Welcome back to Faith Stories. If you have any prayer requests, please email me at faithstorieswithdawn@gmail.com. That's faithstorieswithdawn@gmail.com. And welcome back. Okay, so Lela is actually an intern here at the studio, and when I found out that she went to Palm Beach Atlantic College in downtown West Palm, which is a Christian college, I said, would you come on Faith Stories? And so she's here today, and she's going to share the story of Jonah that really spoke to her and her life that she's walked through. So Lela.
Yay! I'm so excited to be here with you. I feel like this is natural for us. This is always going to happen.
I know, and it's so funny because I've been praying, and the excitement just started building and building and building, because you really, you gave me, she's a writer, and she's a beautiful writer, you guys, and I'm reading her story and I'm thinking, wow, that is so amazing. But I can't wait to hear it from your words, and how Jonah, the book of Jonah in the Bible, really spoke to you. So tell us about that.
I am someone who my family is Catholic. I've always been in the church, grew up in Catholic school, went to a Christian high school. Now, obviously, I go to Palm Beach Atlantic, which is a Christian college. So I've grown up hearing all the Bible stories. I know them by heart. Yeah. And the story of Jonah always stuck out to me because I always just thought it was really cool when I was younger. And
it's a crazy story.
It is. It's a crazy story. He gets swallowed by a big fish, and he survives, and it's just crazy. But it took me until stepping into my adulthood to learn a whole new perspective on the story. So just to kind of summarize what goes down. There's a man named Jonah, and God is like, Jonah, I need you to go to Nineveh and preach a message of repentance to the people of Nineveh. And Jonah's like, no, I'm not doing that. In fact, I don't want to do that. And instead of, I'm not even just not going to go, I'm going to go in the complete opposite direction. Right. So Jonah boards this boat, and he's like, I'm not going.
I love this It's like, okay, you're saying no to God, and you don't think that, like, God can, like,
Right.
get you there?
Right. So Jonah goes, and God's like, you forced my hand. And he's on this boat, and a huge storm comes, and all the other crew members are like, you caused this.
I know you're out.
We're throwing you overboard. Jonah gets thrown overboard, and he's sinking. He's plummeting. And out of nowhere, a big fish comes and swallows Jonah. And in the belly of the big fish, Jonah stays for 3 days.
3 days, guys.
And
Can you imagine the smell? I'm sorry.
Exactly. But he lives, and the fish ends up taking him exactly where he needs to go, to Nineveh. And when I was younger, I always thought that this fish was a punishment for Jonah's intentional choice to defy God and defy the plan that God had for him. But it took, like I said, stepping into my adulthood and getting a message told to me at a small camp in South Carolina called Camp Canaan. So thank you guys, changed my life. But it was taught to me that the fish is actually an immense blessing from God. Because if you think about it, Jonah would have drowned and died if it had not been for the fish. And it might have been uncomfortable and lonely and frustrating and just so not clean because you're in the belly of a fish.
Right.
But it actually was a perfect thing that got him exactly where he needed to go, which was something that was so immensely transformative in my peace and in my healing with just certain things in my life.
What kind of certain things?
We're
going to dig a little bit deeper than certain things.
Yeah, of course. I'm adopted. I was adopted at birth. It's something that I love and I'm so proud of. And
as you should be.
Yeah.
And God bless your parents. You know?
Yeah. Love you guys. But that was something that was really big for me when I was younger. I spent a lot of time thinking about it. I had so many questions, and my adoption was closed, so I had no information on anything.
Was it closed until a certain time?
Until I was 18.
Okay. All right.
So I had 18 years to sit and wait and think
wonder,
of everything.
Who's my parents? Which, even though the parents you have are your parents,
right? But there was always a part of me that wanted to
Sure.
meet them and find them, and my parents, being the wonderful people that they were, or are.
Yeah, they're still around, thank God.
They fully supported me in that process, so I started looking, and that was a big fish for me. That was an excruciating process that took a really long time. They did not want to be found.
Really?
Yeah, and it was really hard for me to accept the fact that there are people outside of where I'm at that are connected to me in this way who I just don't know, because I come from a huge Cuban family. We're all super close. We're super tight-knit. So it only makes sense for me to know these people.
Right. Well, if anything, you know, for health issues that may arise.
Right. I don't have a medical history.
Because you have no idea what is in your family history.
Right. Yeah.
And to be, I mean, thank God they gave you up for adoption. But then to find out that they still don't want to have anything to do with you, that must have really hurt.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, number one, that they gave you up for adoption. Thankfully, you ended up with an amazing parents and family.
But it's so much to process. It's the why, what
right.
happened,
what
how
was
did we
wrong
get
with
here.
me, right?
Yeah, and you don't want to have those
No.
negative self-thoughts, like what was wrong with me, what was ever. And in my case, it was just they weren't in the position to have a baby.
Right.
So they made the right decision for me, which is something that I am eternally grateful for. But yeah, and I did find my biological mother.
Oh, really?
And we did connect, and it did not go the way I think any of us were expecting it to go.
Really?
Yeah. We had a very introductory first conversation, but of course...
Was it in person, over the phone?
So she talked to my parents first, because
Okay.
my parents were very involved in the process.
And I'm so thankful for that for you, because
Me too.
that's like, it's God's hedge of protection, but it's also your parents' hedge of protection, which is so important. Hello.
Yeah, I needed it big time. And so we had this conversation. I was so excited. I want to talk again. I want that connection.
Right.
Trying to do what I can to hold on to my expectations and keep those.
And that's kind of hard to do, though. I mean, come on, right?
So hard.
Of course you're excited and you want to talk to your mom. You gave birth to you, right?
Right. She, whether she wasn't ready, it ended a lot with unanswered questions, empty promises, pulling out, coming back after months later, stepping out again. So it was just, it was a long process for me that was really tiring and took a lot out of me.
Yeah.
And
So let me ask you, during that, how, you obviously raised Catholic, you're a Christian, you literally, I mean, you're young, you're 18 years old.
Yeah.
How did you handle that? I mean,
Not well.
Not well, right? Exactly,
Yeah.
and no 18-year-old would, because that's you don't gain with that wisdom and insight until you're older,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And how to handle situations like that, because it's not about you; it's about her,
right.
right?
Yeah.
Totally about her and her issues.
Yeah, and I was self-internalizing those issues as a reflection of me and who I am.
Yeah.
And I obviously shouldn't do that, and it took me time to learn that. But I think where the big fish comes in is, I think in that time, God was like, hey, look to the other people around you.
Yeah.
Like, look at your parents, look at what they're doing. Look at your friends, look at how they're showing up for you. My mom has girlfriends who are adopted who have gone through similar, processes. And I think he was like, lean on these people. Like, you're so focused on this one thing, but I'm leading you to be closer to these people.
And blessing you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and you're not seeing it. I told Jonah to go. He said, no, I'm telling you to look this way, and you're not.
Right.
So this might get a little uncomfortable for you because you're not on this plan.
Okay, hold that thought, because what really speaks to me is that Jonah, how old were you?
Like 17, 18. Yeah.
No, when you really you were drawn to the book of Jonah.
Oh, ever since I can remember.
See?
Yeah.
But God placed that in your heart all those years ago, because he knew what was going to happen. That's the thing you guys have to understand. The Lord knows everything. He wove this story, your journey all together. He knows the beginning, middle, and end. And so I just find that fascinating as a Christian, and how he gave that to you, and then here he's placing you, and he's sending you to Nineveh, which he sent you to your parents.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I got the chills.
Yeah.
Shut up.
And so,
oh my goodness.
but I can, all throughout my life, I feel like there's big fish. I was a pretty serious athlete for some time. I also come from a family of athletes, so that was like our common thing.
Okay.
And out of nowhere in high school, I blew up my knee and
What
tore.
kind of athlete were you?
I played indoor volleyball and beach volleyball for years,
Wow.
And I tore my ACL.
Oh, no.
Yeah, out of nowhere. It's okay, it happens. We're athletes. So I have surgery, go through that process.
That's a long process.
Yeah, like year and a half recovery time.
Right. Yep.
Wasn't walking for like 3 months. It was a little tough. 2 years later, I do it again, the same knee.
Oh, there you go.
I'm like,
okay,
God, I can't go there again. Like, I can't do this again.
Yeah.
I am on fire for you. I'm on fire with my life. I'm on a roll. Let me keep going. I'm in motion. I'm gaining speed. So many things are happening. And then, boom. You're done. We're
down.
slowing down.
Right.
Here
Sometimes
it is.
he has to do that in order to get your attention.
Yeah,
right?
and I remember I'm driving to my MRI, and I know I've torn it. I know, because I've been through this before.
Isn't it like a snap?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a rubber band.
Yeah,
in a
exactly.
weird way. But I kind of knew it was coming, and I'm driving to my MRI, and I remember being alone because I'm pretty sure both my parents were out of town. And so I'm getting myself ready to receive this news, and all of a sudden I'm like, this is actually so okay. Like,
That
this
peace
is a
of
big
God.
fish. At some point along this line, there's going to be something that I'm going to be like, yeah, this is where I was meant to go.
Right.
And if this hadn't have happened, I wouldn't have ever gotten here. And granted, this is super uncomfortable, and this stinks, and I can't walk, and I can't do things on my own. I'm uncomfortable, and I'm in pain. But somewhere in here, I'm going to get taken where I need to go somehow.
Which I have to, wow, I'm sorry. That blows me away because when I was your age, oh, please, no. That was like not, I mean, the wisdom that you just shared is amazing. You realize that?
I just how.
I mean, that is such wisdom in what you just said.
It took me so long to get there, though.
But
and
that's okay.
Yeah, but now that I got it, it really was like the puzzle piece that was missing in my understanding of my walk with Christ. Because I would get to these situations, like some things, my adoption, like injuries, like I was talking about, and I'm like, oh, I can't go through this again. I can't do this. This is excruciating. I'm tired. God, no, like, don't take me back here. This was awful last time. And then time and time again, without fail, I'm like, oh, you got me exactly where I needed to go.
Well, exactly, because you know what happens, and I know you're going to agree with me on this. When you're in that valley, that's where you get closer with him and you grow closer.
Yeah.
And he shows you things that you have to learn about yourself so that he can make you a better steward for him.
Yeah.
Right?
And there's that trust factor, too, of like, when the shock that Jonah must have experienced upon getting swallowed by a fish, I'm sure
That just cracks me up. It's like, really?
must have been quite extreme. But
I'll show you, Jonah.
yeah, but there's a trust factor of like, where the heck is this fish even going?
Right.
Like, where?
No clue.
Where
Well,
could
he
this...
should have known because he didn't listen.
Right, but like,
And we do that as people.
exactly.
Right?
And like, where are we going? Like, where is this taking us? And that's faith to me, is just trusting that the fish is going in the direction that it's supposed to go in.
Yeah.
And even, we were talking earlier, I'm studying abroad in the fall, and I'm going to Costa Rica, and that can be really scary.
It can be. I'm sorry. Okay, so I asked Layla. I said, "So are you going with a group, your school, whatever?" And she's like, "No, I'm going on my own." And I'm like, "Excuse me?"
Yes.
I mean, really?
Yeah.
Alone.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
completely alone.
whoa.
I'll know no one when I get there. I'm not going with anyone that I know. And granted, it's not negative. This is a super positive experience, but there's like some fear and some worry because I'm going alone to a foreign country that I haven't been to before. But there's something there.
You're obviously drawn.
Yeah, and
I
think you ride the fish to where you're supposed to go, and it's silly, and to me it's so simple, but I think it just takes it all and is full circle. At least it makes sense to me, I think, because my mom always is the first person that's like, you save your big reactions for when the big things come. Don't waste it on things that aren't worth it.
She's never met somebody like me.
And she, I don't know, she always is telling me, like, you just got to wait it out and see, you know, like, just wait. You don't know what's going to happen yet, just wait.
Right.
And so this is such a good, godly reminder of that, of just wait. It might be uncomfortable. It might be a little frustrating. You might be a little lonely, but there's something so good that's coming. You had to go through this first.
Yeah.
You know, and I promise what's on the other side is going to be so much better. And there's a lesson learned, whether it's like you can't walk because you got injured and you're slowing down and you come face to face with either things you needed to deal with or heal from or learn or whatever it is. But it's stuck out so much to me, and it was so impactful in my healing, I think.
Spiritual healing, emotional healing, physical healing,
in everything.
all of that.
Yeah, because after 2 knee surgeries, my physical health was something that I was pretty anxious about. I was like nervous to get hurt again, nervous about my capabilities of doing things. And I didn't want to, I'm young, I want to be active, I don't want to have to worry about that. And slowing down and being forced to slow down and like being forced to sit with that made me okay with not being in control of my pace.
Well, yeah, and it's be still and know that I'm God's, and that gave you the opportunity to say hi, God, you know, spend that time with Him, because that is so important in our faith, to just be still. Yeah, you know, and I was telling you earlier that, you know, I was in prayer, and and I always pray over my guests and how we can shine God's light. And I just got such a sense of an excitement to hear your story, because I read it but on paper, but it's not the same until you sit and talk to the person and really find out, where they are in their faith and how God has touched you.
Yeah. And I think it's like, it also is a huge aspect that kind of brought me back, like really to be rooted in my walk, because I think being someone who grew up just in that world, in a religious household, religious schools, it's easy to get complacent.
Oh, and I think that's true with anybody, because you get so busy, especially you're a teenager and you get busy and you forget. Yeah. And as adults we do the same thing, and it's like, you know what, God'll just say, whoop, okay, let's slow down. Slow down. I want to talk to you, and you gotta listen. You gotta have spiritual ears to hear. Yeah. Right? Spiritual eyes to see. I pray for that every day.
Exactly. Yeah, me too. And I wasn't super rooted, and I think God was like, I'm gonna force your hand. And I'm sorry. This is gonna be a little rough for a second, but I'm gonna come back, and it's gonna be great.
But I think that's really amazing, because he's preparing you for what's coming. Yeah. You're going out on your own to a foreign country, all by yourself, but you're really not by yourself, because Jesus is with you. Yeah. And his covering will protect you, and he'll post angels around you, and I'm praying over you right this minute.
Thank you. But that's like one of my favorite parts, is like, we not only do we serve like a really loving and compassionate God, but we also serve an honest God who's going to prepare you and not sugarcoat things for you. So when you get to those hard moments, instead of being like, why? I'm mad at you now. Why would you put me here? It's like, okay, this is just a big fish.
Right. I love that you go to that, because not everybody does that, especially when you're walking through some really difficult times. And, I'm a lot older than you, and so I've walked a longer journey and have more experiences, and it's like you still take pause, because it's like no matter what you walk through, he's there, and you can either open your heart and continue to open your heart, or not, and walk away,
or you don't. And then you might have to force.
I know.
You might have to force his hand, which might end up with a little bit of bit of confusion and unknowns, which is uncomfortable for us, because we innately want that security and we want that comfort.
Of
course. But then God calls us, ditch it, follow me.
I like that. Ditch it, follow me. That would make a good T-shirt.
Yeah.
Ditch it, follow me.
We'll start it.
Shut up. Yeah, girl.
We got it.
I love that.
Yeah. Me too, actually. We should so start that.
Ditch it, follow me. And I always say, God meets you where you are, but doesn't keep you where you are. And I think that would be a great T-shirt too. Right? Because it's so true.
And that's the whole point. It's like, again, to the big fish, like, you can be in those moments, but you're not going to be stuck there.
Right, because moving. God is with you.
You're moving.
And he's moving you on out of that situation.
Exactly. Yeah. And I don't know. You asked me what I wanted to talk about, and that was like, if I can share one thing, it would be my big fish.
Big fish
story,
and that,
testimony.
You know what? That's going to continue to carry through your life, because that really spoke to you.
Yeah.
Right?
It did. I even have a little...
Oh, that's right. She has a tattoo that she got.
Of a fish. Yeah, because they're my big fish, and they take me where I need to go. And I'm someone who I've struggled with anxiety for the better majority of my life. And so it is even more easy for me to fall into the mindset of like, this is earth-shattering. And this is happening to me, and this is personal, and I should internalize this for whatever reason. And that's just how my brain works. Yeah. And so having that outlet to be like, it's not in my control, but it's completely taken care of. Right. And these growing pains aren't forever, they're just temporary. And in the end, oh my gosh, even if I have no idea where I am, at least I know it's exactly where I'm supposed to be. Because I've gone through all of this, and it wasn't for no reason.
Oh my God. You are just so full of wisdom.
Thank you.
I mean, I know, I'm serious, because it blows me away. I'm listening to you, and it's like, how old are you, like 22?
22. I turned 22 this Monday.
Oh, happy birthday, by the way. I had no idea. I would have, cake,
Okay.
all good?
This is honestly one of my favorite
week.
birthday gifts.
Yes.
I was so excited to come on here.
I'm so glad. Well, listen, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Broughton Garage Door Sales now offers you a difference with the LiftMaster Secure View Ultra Quiet Smart Opener with camera, LED 360-degree lighting, and battery backup. Built-in camera adds video and two-way audio communication to the MyQ app. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage anytime, anywhere from your smartphone. Schedule today at broughton.com.
Just simply call Broughton. We open doors for you.
Tavilla Properties, located at 11471 West Sample Road, Suite 17, located in Coral Springs, Florida, for all your commercial needs. Call Jan at 954-341-1632. That's 954-341-1632, or visit www.tavillaproperties.com. Welcome back to Faith Stories. If you have any prayer requests, please email me at faithstorieswithdawn@gmail.com. That's faithstorieswithdawn@gmail.com. And welcome back. Okay, you guys, so Lela, wow, you're beyond your years. That's all I can say. And your parents did an amazing job. And you know, I can just see amazing things happening for you because you're rooted in Christ. And so I just want to give you the last couple of minutes to just really, you know, share the rest of what you want to share. You know,
Yeah.
and
I think one thing for me that also has been super reinforcing in my journey is having a good community around me.
Very
And I
important.
know as Christians a lot we talk about community, but really those people who you can talk to about the tough things
Yes.
and the doubts and the worry and the second guessing. And for me, I kind of have always had that built in because my grandparents are some of the best pillars of faith that I have. And so if there's ever moments where I'm wavering,
Yeah.
I just kind of look to them and I'm reminded of how
awesome.
how this, obviously everyone's walk is different, but how that's supposed to, what that faith really looks like. And so I think if you can go and you can find those people who emulate that for you in a way that makes sense for you.
Yeah.
It makes you accountable too.
Yeah, I
because
think
that's
it's really
the key.
important.
Because we can have friends and whomever that is just go along with what you're doing,
Yeah.
but not call you out on stuff that is that really what you want to be doing when you're honoring God in your
Yeah.
life, right?
And I have that in both my grandparents and my family, but also really, really good friends around me. And I just think that is so, so important is yes, having that community and that friendship and that fellowship, but
Yeah.
also that honesty and accountability and just safeness to just talk and get it all out.
And be
so you can-
vulnerable.
and be vulnerable in your faith. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable in your faith.
Absolutely. Well, this was awesome.
This was so much fun.
Okay, so when you come back from your trip, we're going to have you back on.
Yes,
Because I
please.
know you're going to have, I just got the major chills. She's going to have some powerful stories. Powerful, and I know
I
that.
hope so.
Yes, you will, girl. And I did give her Stacy's book because I wanted you to read that before you
Yes.
leave. Okay. So
I got it.
You guys, okay, so next week, thank you so much for joining us, but join me next week, I have Dr. Jeff Hazim, and he's going to talk about discipleship and what that looks like. So listen, you have a blessed week. We'll see you next week. Share. So check out social media, and we'll see you next week, Wednesday at 3 o'clock.
Thank you for watching Faith Stories, where you will hear stories of hope, faith, and love. Please join us next week, and remember, God meets you where you are, but doesn't